Africa has actually been criticized as being the dark continent, no pun intended, when we have more than 640 million people that don't have access to reliable, safe, secure power. What do you see as the future solution to actually help reduce this deficit of power and improve the electrification rate?
Bafti, I think that's a very, very good question. I think, as I said, that those pictures from satellites looking back down Africa are quite dismal. But I think, as we discussed, there's some very, very exciting opportunities, and you'll be aware in terms of the trends of moving away from big power generation, big transmission lines, substations, distributed generation, to much more end-user focused solutions where it's distributed generation right close to the communities, whether that's solar PV, mini grids, those type of solutions. We think those are going to be really the game changer going forward, and we think they can be rolled out quite effectively and quite cheaply. And we're aware that a lot of international developers are looking at that market and seeing how it can link to payment mechanisms and enable even the poorer sections of the community to get access to sustainable power, which we think is what people need, because energy creates opportunity, helps with education, helps with development. So it addresses not just the energy need, but the whole socio-economic upliftment. So I think it's very exciting that there are opportunities in terms of where energy and energy markets are moving towards, and it's generally moving down market to more end-user focused, distributed generation, mini grids, which we think is an exciting and cost-effective alternative.
No, I very much agree with you there, Colin. I mean, I think, if you look at our South African power grid and the way it was actually designed and built, the days of these, and you look at the world over, all the big utilities all over Europe and different states in the US, the days of centralized distribution is pretty much over. What you are definitely finding now is exactly what you speak to: decentralized distribution at the load centers where power is actually required. And I think, if anything, that is certainly going to help alleviate the power crunch that we have on the continent, help increase the electrification rate. If you look at where we were when we started REAP in South Africa 9-10 years ago, solar PV had a capped tariff of R2.74 per kilowatt hour. The winning bids in round one were almost R2.73 per kilowatt hour. If you look at the last round that we financed, and we've done a number of projects very successfully as Absa, but if you look at the last round, we were sub 70 rand cents per kilowatt hour on the very same solar module, right? So I think in many countries already, not just in Europe or the US, but even in Africa, I think we are at a point where you're already at grid parity, where it's actually become pretty affordable to generate power from solar or from renewable energy, compared to even conventional power such as coal-fired power generation. So I think the future of energy on the continent, and is certainly a green theme without any hesitation.